Hey guys, what's going on? Another week is over, which means it's another episode of Ask Deadly. This is the weekly show every Sunday where I read your guys' questions and do my best to answer them. And behind here is some Escape from Tarkov footage, and I just want to address something I've seen a lot in the comment sections coming up again is like, why don't I upload these videos with some DayZ footage? Which is a great question because the vast majority of the questions are DayZ standalone or survival MMO related. And I think the reason behind that is I just want to showcase some cool action clips from various games like Battlegrounds and Tarkov, rather than just like looting around in Berezino. So I think that kind of makes sense, right? But I mean, if you guys want to see that shit, I mean, by all means, I can go like bow people all the time and probably die, but yeah, it's just kind of the way it is. So anyways, guys, let's get started. We're going to be starting things off with the Real Gamma Gamer. Hey Deadly, what do you think about the blood trails being added for players and animals? And I also think that it would be cool for a winter version of Chernarus. I think the winter version of Chernarus is something that a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time, but obviously it's not really a priority for the developers. Like, would you rather the game get finished or for them to retexture all the buildings in the entire environment and add new weather systems? Things like that modders can do, or they can add in way down the road when feature is near complete. And to answer the first part of the question, blood trails being added for players and animals, definitely a cool feature for anybody that is a player hunter or an actual survivalist. Whenever they make hunting animals a little bit more difficult, that would be cool. But I think we're still, especially when it comes to animals, so far away from any of that. Like, what's probably going to happen is you're still going to see a group of cows in the middle of an open field, and yeah, you can shoot them and have blood trails, but you're still going to be able to see the animals like lagging out all over the place. So if they can make the animal animations and movements a little bit more realistic, especially for things like deer, and actually make it difficult to hunt deer, and it's kind of like they need to find a balance between like standalone right now and Call of the Wild, which is an actual hunting game. If they can find a cool balance to that, then blood trails for animals would be really cool. But if they can't and the animal mechanics remain the same, blood trails for animals is pretty stupid. So it's actually also pretty stupid if the animals don't bleed out. So if they only take a base amount of damage and they don't actually start bleeding, especially if you hit something like critical, like a heart or the lungs, then it's kind of pointless too, right? You're just gonna be trailing and tracking an animal that is constantly running and never stopping until the server starts, stops, or they run into a wall or a fenced-in area where they can't jump it or move around. So I'm interested to see when they get all that figured out. So until then, blood trails and stuff like that, cool idea and a cool feature, but I don't think it would be an actual, or I don't think it will actually have a massive impact on the way the game is played right now. How do you feel about that you cannot open your inventory when moving in the new update? And a few people in the comment sections have said that it's not confirmed or it's been confirmed. If you can actually provide me with a link in the comment section below exactly to the source where you found that information, that'd be great. If it was a status report, I gotta be honest guys, I haven't really been checking out the status reports at all, and I haven't been making status report videos. That was Winston just jumping right into the microphone, and I don't think I'm gonna cut that out. Anyway, I haven't been paying attention to the status reports like at all. So if it was there, then just let me know which one it was in and I will go take a look. Now, if it is true and you have to completely stop to access your inventory, they should only make it so your backpack has to be, you have to be completely stopped to access that. A chest rig or a gun holster or your jacket or your pants, I feel like it's completely okay to pull a pistol out while you're on the run from those areas, just like you can do in Escape from Tarkov. So they kind of need to find a fine balance with that. And I think if they do add it for everything, like you have to be completely stopped to have access to your chest rig, then I think they're just opening it up to allow players to get immediately headshotted if they want to access their gear, and I'm not completely comfortable with that. Do you think that when the game comes into beta, it will bring in a lot more players? Since it's been in alpha for 4 years, I think that making it into beta will show that the game isn't really totally dead yet. I honestly think that one of the biggest motivations for a lot of people to play survival MMOs is the community. So if a lot of community members come back, especially large community members like broadcasters and YouTubers who have since moved on and into other things like GTA RP, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Escape from Tarkov, and a large variety of other games, some of the biggest broadcasters on Twitch like Lyric and Summit played a lot of DayZ back in the day. So if those guys come back and really enjoy the game when beta is released, I would say that's going to rekindle the fire for standalone, and it's also going to rekindle the DayZ genre as a whole. So I think beta is going to be extremely important for the developers to get right in the experimental phase. The whole early access survival BS, it doesn't fly anymore. People do not give a shit. I don't care what people say on Reddit or in the YouTube comments. Oh, but you can't criticize the game, it's in early access. Fuck that, of course you can. People do all the time. First impressions are extremely important. So if the beta for experimental is terrible, just like 0.60 was whenever it was released with a new rendering engine, it's going to get a bad rap and people are not going to come back. So if the beta for DayZ standalone, the experimental beta for DayZ standalone is horrible and is a bad launch, that is going to be the end of DayZ in my honest opinion. So it doesn't matter how it plays at stable, like there's probably going to be a significant amount of people put this game to bed for good and never come back unless some really compelling and interesting mods get launched, but who's going to make mods for a dead game? Currently, the game is not dead. It still gets around 5,000 players that play it on a regular basis, and that's just standalone. That doesn't include the people who play the mods or the DayZ-esque mods in the Arma 3 section, but in comparison to games like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, I mean, come on, that game is fucking huge, man. Like, DayZ will never be able to compete with that, no matter what happens. So, DayZ, but I mean, me personally, I've been seeing a lot of people in the comment section saying that DayZ is dead. That, I believe, is just people that may not realize that standalone is still actually very much a thing. There's still like 20 or 30 servers that are really active all the time. There's still lots of people interested in watching it on YouTube and on Twitch. Content creators come back to it frequently. Sometimes you can get into some really positive experiences. And I believe there's also a concerted effort by a small number of individuals to spread as much hate as possible about the game, to mislead people and to say that it's actually dead, when of course it's not. I also believe that in some of my most recent videos, you see like the same type of guy comment the exact same thing 3 or 4 times over. Like it's just kind of weird, right? Like some people are just, what I call it is hate fucking the game. Basically, they just love to hate the game so bad that they become super passionate about it, and it's become their daily routine to ensure that the game does fail. And to those people, I have no idea what's going on in their minds. Either they're just having a bad day, or mentally they just need somebody to be punched all the time. But it's kind of a weird deal. So, long story short, beta should bring a lot of people back into the game. But if the launch of the beta is shaky, no one's going to come back after that. Do you think that with smaller items like the sharpened stick should have an animation whenever you see them pull it out instead of just popping into their hands? I've been killed twice because Bambi's pulling out sticks and killing me in a split second. Oh yeah, that stuff needs to be animated completely. Just like in Next Day Survival, they have a very good animation system when it comes to accessing their inventory, and I think DayZ standalone could take some notes. So if you access your inventory, or if you pull something out from your back, or no matter what it is, you should actually go through an animation no matter what. Now, I don't really know why there's no animation for the sharpened stick or other items similar to that, but I think a lot of the early items added into DayZ standalone went into the game with animations included, and then there was a certain point thereafter where for whatever reason they just were not included on a lot of the new items. Maybe it was just laziness, or the animation system they knew from the get-go was going to get redesigned, but I'm hopeful that in beta and in a few patches after that, those little things that actually do make a big difference, especially when it comes to dealing with new spawns, should be changed. So we'll see in the future. Alright, for the next section of the video, I wanted to address that there was a lot of people that were just coming to assumptions on a YouTuber I was talking about in my last video, and if you go back and rewatch that, I wasn't saying anything negative about them. I was just addressing the fact that some YouTubers have created videos on the 420 gaming servers, and love or hate the 420 gaming servers, it doesn't matter where you lie on the spectrum of that, love it or hate it, it is still technically against the terms of service of Bohemia Interactive, and we are not allowed to create videos on those servers. And you're not supposed to play there, but no one's getting banned for playing there because it's too accessible. So it would just be a waste of time for people to actually get banned. So for me, it's the same thing as the World of Warcraft private servers. I play World of Warcraft private servers. I played on Elysium. I've played on Nostorius. I can't make videos for it. I would love to make videos for it, but I just can't. And I think there was somebody who said, I think Maple Boy, finally some DayZ YouTuber who actually has the guts to talk about 420 gaming. Props to you, Deadly. I gave my honest opinion about it, and it probably wasn't an overly positive opinion about the server in general, because it's just not something that directly appeals to me, right? I'm more of a hardcore PvP guy. I don't really need to practice my PvP. I can just get it there in the world and just try my best and die, and if I succeed, I succeed. So for those servers, though, they are incredibly intriguing, and I'm really excited for modding down the road, but I am just going to take a pass on it. You know, again, no hate, just going to take a pass on it. I'm not really interested in jumping on there and risking my career for it. So that's that. A Wild West mod and medieval mod is all I want. Lots of Monty Python interactions. Well, actually, I just recently uploaded my perspective from the most recent medieval battle on Skalitzy Island, which was hilarious. And again, some fucking cheeseballs in the comment section with absolutely no sense of humor. It's embarrassing. But nonetheless, it was a hell of a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of cool content creators, especially Fubar Bundy. Somebody as a fellow peer and a content creator I definitely look up to. He's definitely an awesome guy, and to actually spend some time role playing and fucking around, well, not really role playing, kind of, somebody said it best, taking a piss out of role play, you know, just not taking it seriously, having some laughs. It was a good time, man, and I would highly recommend go checking it out. But yeah, a Wild West mod is what I want. Somebody that's actually able to implement a couple muzzle loaders, maybe some early chambered weapons, some repeating weapons, lots of double barrels. You know, it's gonna be cool. So we'll see if DayZ actually gets to that point where modding Wild West mods and medieval mods is actually possible, because it might not be. We may not even get to that point. Well, guys, that is it for me this Sunday night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do ask your questions for next week in the comment section. And again, if you have a very similar question to somebody else, don't just copy paste the same thing. Give them an upvote, because I read the top comments first. So definitely do that. Also check out the live streams every single morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at noon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the stream for some more DayZ, Escape from Tarkov, and PUBG.